welcome to our humble abode. As you can see, we have upgraded our summer house to a real good summer house. We took it over in a very brutal and bloody fight. We tore some fingernails, basically.
Yeah, but we emerged victorious and
We now have a nice home.
yeah. So welcome to the launch of Disenchanted.
Otherwise known as those damn fairy tales. We're pretty sure you're as sick of us talking about them as we are working on them.
But they're out now, so
We no longer have to read them. Yay! And now you have to.
so we'll start with some extracts and then move on to questions at the end.
So, first story is Long Live the Queen. This is our Snow White story told from the point of view of the Queen. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess called Snow White. Who the hell calls her child that? I'm surprised they didn't register that in a birth certificate. Imagine if everyone named their kid after the most prominent feature. The country would be overrun with baldy locks, beanstalks and wrinkle-stiltskins. I would have named it Princess Plastic or Toad Features.
Now, next one is our Sleeping Beauty story, Midnight Kiss. Alex cursed and the bramble smacked him in the face. Anything this well protected must be evil. Horror films always start with fun-loving friends and an adventure, and one of them messes with stuff they're not supposed to, and bang! An unkillable serial killer is on their trail for 90 minutes. Breaking into a creepy impenetrable castle is exactly the kind of thing that graces horror DVD's shelves. You'll be the first to die then, Casey said. You're the one disturbing the legend. We could claim it. Castell Castle. Only weirdos and vampires live in castles. No, vampires live in respectable communities, go to school even though they're hundreds of years old, only feed from blood bags, and date the new girl in town. Get with the times.
Okay, 3 Cheese for a Sweet Revenge. This is a mashup of Goldilocks and Jack and the Beanstalk. Some say I'm a bad girl like it's a bad thing. Children's stories teach you if you're good, you'll be universally adored, the kind of beauty that only comes in Max Factor packaging, a handsome prince will fall in love with you, your enemies will be smited by karma, and you'll live happily ever after. Yuck. My ambitions run far higher than marrying Mr. Darcy and being unemployed for the rest of my life.
Next one is Puss in Boots, or now called Master of Puppets. I'm giving you a name. How about Patches? Macleod. How about I call you Fat Ass? What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. I assumed because you named me by my most obvious feature, I would be allowed to return the compliment. I don't have a fat ass. Dude, you're so skinny, if you walked across a cattle grid, you'd fall down it. Your ass is the only thing that stops you looking like a pencil.
And this one is Disenchanted, which the collection is named after. This is our version of the Snow Queen. She could barely feel her hands and feet. Ice clung to her hair. Mournful moans resonated off the mountain. Ghostly shapes rose from the snow, swirling around her. The icicle fangs glinted as they nipped her flesh. She fumbled for her sword, but their bitter breaths turned into ice. Their red eyes glowing, they pounced, their fangs and talons piercing the skin. The dagger passed through them, a coating of ice, smoke from the blade. She reached into her bag for the dragon's breath. It sipped from her numb fingers. The cork popped out. A fireball engulfed the ghosts and they evaporated. Their screams echoing off the mountains.
Next one is Cinderella, or Operation Midnight. I snatched up my gun from my thigh holster, ready to turn him into a human doily. He raised his hands in surrender. He had short dark hair and stubble. Not the boogeyman's usual appearance. Wonderful. First hot girl seen ages, and I clobbered him with a spanner and held him at gunpoint. No wonder my mum said I'd die alone. I'm fetching my ID, he said. I scored top on the shooting range and in the field. If that's not your ID, I'll shoot off every finger. You can spend the rest of your life wearing mittens.
This is Sleeping Beauty. This is the prince and all the fairy tale heroines. She acted like my mother, not my bride. Even without my unusual fetish, I wouldn't have fancied her. No sane man wants to make love to his mother. I couldn't brag about her to my friends. When they boasted about their hot and kinky girlfriends, what could I say? She baked me muffins. No one went to Amsterdam for that. Her idea of sex and endearing was wearing a tweed calf-length skirt with her hair down. And then I could abuse her to sail my boat.
Candace's flames conjured images of hellfires burning the souls of sinners and saints. Her stepmother smiled, posing before her hideous mirror. A smile on her face was as rose and tragic entry into a rom-com. She was plotting something. It probably wasn't her next Botox party.
This one is Hansel and Gretel, but about 10 years later. It's a tempting fate. There's a light over there. Ooh, strange hut in the middle of the woods. That can't possibly be hiding cannibalistic inbred. Half a gasp. Maybe it's housing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Pervy, sleazy, spanky, humpy, gimp, bondage and striptease. I'm having spanky. You want to get eaten by bears? Please yourself. Gypsy stalked towards the light. I'd rather be eaten by bears than inbred cannibals. Haven't you learned anything from horror films? It's never an easy death. Gypsy poked her tongue out. Gypsy! They have hooks and chainsaws. Fine, I'm having striptease.
And the last one is Red Riding Hood, Once Upon a Nightmare. The birds stopped singing, the air became thick, and the sky darkened. I stepped through the trees into the perpetual night. The only things I heard were my galloping heart and the haunting echoes of the villagers' dying screams. The entrance to Riding Wood was permanently smothered in teddy bears, candles, and flowers in varying stages of decay. Faded forest cards fluttered in the breeze, the agonised words now blackened smudges. A fresh bouquet lay on top. Fresh flowers signalled the nightmare was still alive, even if its victim wasn't. Every time there was a death, a tree was planted. Each year the forest grew denser, darker, the commemorative plaques harder to read.
We'd actually, we saw an anthology a couple of years ago that wanted alternative fairy tales.
Totally different point of view.
And that's where Long Live the Queen was born, and it actually got shortlisted. They loved it and they held on to it, but they didn't use it in the anthology and said that they would be holding on to it for a possible future anthology. But they never ended up using it, and then they got shortlisted somewhere else, didn't it?
Yeah, and we wrote Girl. Was that for enough anthology?
Yeah, Girl of the Bad Guys one was also written for another anthology for alternative fairy tales. And then this year we discovered that it was the 200-year anniversary of the Brothers Grimm first releasing their collection of fairy tales, and we thought
They had 80 odd in theirs, we've only got 10.
yeah, and we thought, well, commemorate it, we could rewrite all the 8 other fairy tales and put them into a collection. And now every new film that's coming out is a retelling of a fairy tale. So they obviously planted both into our head, stole our idea, made them into films and released them before we had the chance.
So now we look like we're jumping on the bandwagon when really we were driving it.
We're not happy.
For yourself. I think Nightmare.
Yeah, Once Upon a Nightmare is definitely our favourite one. It's the darkest.
It's one of the easiest. Well, Long Live the Queen was the easiest to write, and obviously found it funny when writing kept laughing when we were writing it.
So that is one of our favourites. It was our favourite one to write because it is so easy and so funny. But Nightmare is our favourite from the whole collection because of the dark elements, the horror elements that are in there.
And Nightmare actually gave rise to Sleeping Beauties, because we were trying to think of a nightmare and we thought Prince Charming, and our mum said, well, why didn't you mix them up, have Prince Charming with a couple of the heroines, and then we thought, well, we can't do it for this one, but it would be great for another story, so that's how Sleeping Beauties was born. And Three Cheers was also our mum's idea. We were stuck trying to think of our last tale to write, and she suggested that we merge Goldilocks and Jack as a sort of Bonnie and Clyde type partnership, so that's what we did.
The hardest one to write was Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah.
the prince and his fairy tale brand. We found that hard because the narrative was very passive.
Yeah, couldn't really get him into the prince's head, couldn't really find his voice, and it was like we were trying to make him talk to us. We'd like strapped into a chair and we're like,
Threatened him with pliers in his fingernails.
you're not leaving until you talk to us. Give us your voice. He's like, which translates to, I'm not giving you my voice. I'm not telling my story.
And then once we got out the laser beams and the moving table, we started speaking then, pretty quickly actually, and then it was easy to write.
Yeah, got along great after that.
Yeah, and we're kind of friends now, and yeah.
I think it'd be a very mixed reaction
because it's almost like a 50-50, it's about 60-40 split of dark and humour, and of course there's humour in all of them. So the people
there's
who don't
elements of dark in the humorous one.
So people who don't like horror are going to hopefully like the sort of the lighter ones, the funny ones. And then the ones who do like horror are also going to like the darker elements in the story. So there's a good mix. There's nothing in it that I think will offend anyone.
Sleeping Beauty is a probably polarised opinion because the subject matter is dark and unpleasant.
But told in a light-hearted way.
Yeah, the prince is funny, so
you can't help liking him.
you don't want to
like
like him
evil.
because technically he's quite vile, but
Because
you can't help
in
it.
fairy tales, it's you have good and you have the evil. The good are beautiful, the evil always get to come up, and in these ones, it's not so black and white. The evil ones are actually likeable and have really funny personalities. They do, and
The good aren't angels.
the good are not angels. They're not, sort of good heroines that people can follow, like their moralistic path and be inspired by them. No, they're not perfect. They have their faults, but they do with redeeming quality. But yeah, it's they're all quite questionable. But
I'm going to stop with it.
I don't think with a bay and mobs chasing us down. Book is available now.
Yeah, on Amazon and Smashwords.
And if you are impressed by the trailer, Ryan Ashcroft did it.
He's
So-
available for hire. We are
we
unleashing him
will
on the world.
we will let him out of his dungeon for him to do other people's book trailers as well, if you are impressed by this one. You don't have to go and rob a bank to pay for it. We're not encouraging bank robbing,
But we will take a cut.
yeah,
It's a solid idea.
50%.
Yeah.
No negotiations.
Our next release will be Soul Asylum,
Which would be our debut novel, although it's not the first novel we've ever written. Actually, we've got about 80, 10 we work on in rotation, but Soul Asylum would be the first one we release, because a publisher actually told us we should turn it into a film or a TV series. We don't know how to do that, so we're just releasing it as a novel.
Hopefully it'll be out October the 1st. It's almost done. Very excited about that one. That one's going to be good.
So if you like your stories a little bit twisted,
A little bit funny.
with, humorous horror elements, then buy Disenchanted.
If you like it, you can leave a review on Amazon. If you don't have to leave a review.
So yeah, don't have nightmares, and but yeah, these are 10 fairy tales that are definitely not for children's bedtime.
We're going to get rid of the peasants. Feed the tigers.
Like, get out of our summer home.